And action. Hi, where are we? Hi, this is Lori,
This is Peter.
and we're with Action Heroes LA movie review channel with a review. And of course, 2024
Yes.
still ceases to impress me
Right.
movie wise.
Yeah.
But
same
I don't want
here.
this. We'll get into this review in a minute. But it's again, it's been a long time since we posted a review because there just hasn't been much to watch. But we had Glicked Weekend happen. You know, did you hear the whole
The Wicked and the
Wicked and Gladiator II
Yeah.
came out in the same weekend? I managed to catch them both on the opening weekend.
Okay, I didn't do that.
Okay. So, and we go saw Gladiator 2 together, but
Yes.
it took you some time to get to Wicked because it's just not
It's
not in your wheelhouse you typically.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Okay, so this is the Glicked double review. We'll do a Gladiator 2 first, and then we'll do we'll review them together, but
Yes.
separate. Anyway,
But
so
separately.
Gladiator 2, we have the sequel to the 2000 film.
Yeah,
Starring Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott.
And, you know, that movie also starred Joker.
Joker.
Joker is
Okay.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin
And
Phoenix.
both memorable, very memorable in their roles.
And it was training day.
And it was training day.
Yeah,
What?
Denzel Washington.
No, I'm talking about Gladiator 1 right now.
Oh,
So-
you're talking about Gladiator 1.
I'm
Okay.
talking about Gladiator 1. So it's been 24 years. They decide to do a sequel, and Peter's revealing his hand of his thoughts on this film right now. So let's get in. Gladiator 2, we do have Ridley Scott back. We do not have Russell Crowe back, but
No,
we
we
have
don't have
Denzel
Russell.
Washington
Yes.
and, you know, some others like another actor, Paul Mescal, who I've been hearing a lot of rave reviews about. So
Right.
what did you think of Gladiator 2?
Well, I don't think Paul has the correct chops for this,
Okay.
nor the backing. He's not able to carry this movie yet.
I had an issue with him. I didn't think he carried the movie so well. But I'm thinking about it more. I think it has more to do with the script than
that could be.
his. I mean, he just doesn't. It's hard to match Russell Crowe
Really hard.
in this film. You really needed somebody who had that kind of presence and, like, you know, that manliness kind
Yes.
of thing that comes across that made Russell Crowe a star from, you know,
Yes.
from the original Gladiator. And this role does not serve this actor to really come close to
Yes.
that. And I
But-
will. Okay. No.
No, I was just going to say, but we had Denzel Washington
We did have Denzel Washington
and
having a lot of fun.
yeah, I think he had a lot of fun with the movie.
Yeah, he was the best part of this movie for me because he was just having fun and being the character he was. I will say this movie also stars Pedro Pascal, which is misleading because
Yes, it is.
he is a kind of, you know, he's the Mandalorian, of course. He is a kind of actor that could do a Russell Crowe. He has that kind of presence.
He does.
But he's not the main focus. He's not the character that needed to be the center of this film.
Yes, they
Yeah.
they had a lot of good people in it.
Yeah, they had a lot of really good actors.
I don't think they were in the exact place they needed to be.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a story issue. Probably a story issue more than anything. I mean, there was some CGI that didn't quite work, but we were both excited to see them stage a battle of
a ship
ships,
battle.
a ship battle with sharks. I'm not sure where they got the sharks, but a ship battle, because that was something they did do.
Yes.
They managed to fill the Coliseum with water and
Yes.
put some ships in there so they can stage that. So that was pretty cool to
Yeah.
whether
if we can stay on that part for a second,
Mm-hmm.
it made me think, oh, that's right. I've always read about
Mm-hmm.
that they were able to stage sea battles and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and that brought up other questions.
Okay.
How did they get the boats, and where were the boats staged at beforehand, and how long in between the times
Well,
that you were at the Coliseum did they fill it up?
Maybe those tunnels were really extra big.
Yeah. And then
I don't know. You have to look at the history books for that one.
and they didn't have machines like we do now to start
Like
pumping
large
in the water.
crane. Well, they figured something out.
They figured something out.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones who thought of like aqueducts and plumbing and shit like that.
Yeah.
So.
And then the drainage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the big doors. Well, those had to be sealed in some kind of way.
How to seal it up, I
Yeah.
guess, well, they could seal it well enough to minor leaks. Wouldn't,
Yeah.
Just
And
long
then-
enough for the battles to take place. I don't know.
And then my thinking was, well, wait a minute. Did they build tracks and actually have the boats on tracks, or did they
This
actually
is-
really sail in there?
Well, that's for you. Got to go look at a History Channel and look that up. We got to do a review here.
Okay.
We can't get harp on how they actually did it because in the movie we know they have their ways.
CGI.
Probably CGI, maybe some model. Who knows? I don't know. But getting back to the story, it's kind of like. Well, I'm gonna get into spoilers. They base it on the kid who was in the first movie, and he grows up.
Right.
And he's an outcast from his royal lineage, his royal standing, but he
which
ends
I
up
still
becoming
don't totally
a fighter.
Understand that.
Yeah, I kind of like you saw that kid in the first film, and I have a hard time buying him becoming a gladiator.
Right.
And of course, they're using a different actor now for that role. But if you see the actor, the kid grown up now, it's like if they. That's why they changed actors, because you would have bought that kid becoming like the Russell Crowe type gladiator.
Right.
Now, I think the smart thing would have been is to make him a different type of gladiator, a different like fighting style, rather than
yes.
I think
you're right.
Yeah, I think it would have totally bought that, but they do some funky thing about saying your father was the Russell Crowe character. I'm like, no, he wasn't. What are you talking about? And it was more of like a symbolic or spiritual father rather than no, but they kind of try to sell it like he was your biological father. It was like, no, that did not happen in that first movie. And that was a problem. And yeah, it was just buying that kid. And then also some other things like the new rulers now. I didn't have a problem with them instead of like having one. So you're not getting Joaquin Phoenix back, who's great at playing crazy.
Right.
You got two guys that are kind of nondescript incest twins or something like that.
Yeah,
who,
it was really weird.
Really weird, but I do. So that's where Denzel Washington comes in, and he plays this duplicitous character, and he's having a lot of fun. He's had a lot of fun doing the manipulating and sneakiness and pitting people against each other, and I enjoyed seeing him. I did say I did fall asleep partially through this movie. And I woke up, and then Denzel was doing some shady shit, and I was into it. I was like, and he was having fun doing shady shit. I'm like, all right, I'm having fun with this now.
Well, with me, I was looking at the movie, and I'm telling you, I kept going, what happened? What did he do?
Oh,
what,
okay.
Why did he do that? Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, there were some political machinations that I like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
and they're kind of like setting people up and for to get them out the way and to it's like the chess game of it.
Well, I understood that, but part of the chess game.
Okay, but it has to make sense. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay.
it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't to me.
And it's been too many weeks for me to even like try to regurgitate this plot. But I like, I've heard some reviews of this, and I kind of agree. Like, if this movie, it suffers in because it has to be compared to you're gonna inevitably compare it to the first one, which is a classic. and
is.
still, pretty damn good 20 something years later when you watch it.
Yeah.
And it does a lot it does a lot of great character building and world building before it gets into the gladiator thing.
Right.
And like I said, the story of this young kid trying to make him into Russell Crowe, whether it's the actor or the character, it just didn't work.
Yeah. And one thing that I did, I said, well, something must be wrong with me. I need to go look at Gladiator.
Okay. We watched it before going to see this.
And I did, and I
watched part of it.
It still doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, they kind of was like, no, that doesn't jive, you guys. So anyway, but, in comparison to that movie, it suffers greatly. But on its own, it's an okay movie. It's not a bad movie.
No, it's not a bad movie at all.
It's decent.
It's
not quite good, but it's decent.
That's the word for it.
Yeah,
it's
and,
decent.
Like a lot of things, now we have a level movie like a Netflix movie, a straight to Netflix movie. This could have been a straight to Netflix movie, really.
Yes, it could.
Yeah.
And I guess, too, I was disappointed because I hold Denzel Washington in this character, but the character that he played and the writing of it and stuff like that, he was down here.
Okay. But he was the most fun thing in the movie for me.
He was.
Yeah. And so, although another review was saying, why is he using a New York accent in ancient Greece? So, ancient Rome.
Well,
my history is off.
The one thing that would have been great,
Greece,
if he was said, he'd looked, and before the arrows started flying, if he'd have said, I am King Kong.
Okay, I don't know what quote. That's from another Denzel movie. I don't know it, so I'm sorry.
Training Day.
I've seen Training Day once. So it's, only thing Denzel kind of has, like a lot of actors who would become very big movie stars, they kind of have.
Yeah.
It's same.
They become themselves.
Yeah. They kind of portray themselves. There's a certain, portrayal of themselves they end up doing. And, I mean, there's that going on in here, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not too much.
Well, where would have been great.
Because it's Denzel in ancient Greece, and that's kind of lends some difference to it.
One of the Caesars got their head cut off. That'd have been great for, you ain't got nothing on me.
I don't have quotable Denzel Washington
more
movies.
Training Day.
More Training Day. Okay, like over my head. I've seen Training Day once. Okay, and I mentioned that. All right. Any other final thoughts on Gladiator II compared to the part of Glicked Weekend?
I do think that the most, especially for me, the most impressive part was the ship battle being shown. That's the first time I've ever seen that
they're able to do that now in films. The film technology is advanced enough they can pull something like that off.
Well, they can
kind of relatively believable.
Yeah, they can keep pulling it off.
Do you think they would have had sharks in there?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it'd have been a good idea.
Okay.
Because as the guys fall off the ship, there's no getting back on,
right.
And the sharks get rid of them.
So this film, Pedro Pascal would have been better if they would have built a story around a character based on him.
Yes.
And I'll say Connie Nielsen is in this again. She's back in it, which was nice to see because she played the sister of Commodore Joaquin Phoenix character and the mother of the kid and all that. So I'm just glad they brought her back. There's a lot of good actors and a lot of pretty cool performances. Just didn't all add up. And that's our thoughts. If you've seen Gladiator II, if you went out for Glicked Weekend, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we out.
We are out.
Yeah, we are out.